Today, we are going to talk about a very valuable United States Lincoln Memorial penny that looks very common but can be extremely rare and highly valuable in the coin collecting market. This small penny might be hiding a big treasure depending on its date, mint mark, condition, and rare variety features like errors or special design differences. So stay with us and carefully watch every detail, because even a normal-looking coin can sometimes be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's auction market. First coin. The 1982D Lincoln Memorial. Penny large date is one of the most interesting coins from the United States because the year 1982 was a major transition period in the history of Lincoln Memorial cents. During this year, the United States Mint made an important change in the metal composition of pennies. Before 1982 pennies were made mostly from copper. But in 1982, the Mint began switching to copper-plated zinc planchets. Because of this change, several different varieties were produced in the same year, including large date and small date versions, along with different metal compositions. The 1982D large date penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the D mint mark, located below the year on the obverse side of the coin. The obverse design features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has remained one of the most recognized images on American coinage for many years. The reverse side of the coin displays the Lincoln Memorial Building, which was used on United States pennies from 1959 until 2008, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Identifying the large date variety requires careful observation of the numbers in the year 1982 because the numbers appear thicker, taller, and more widely spaced compared to the small date version, and the number 2 shows a more curved and open shape. This small visual difference plays a very important role in determining the coin's classification and potential value, especially when combined with the correct metal composition and mint mark details. This coin is described as circulated, which means it has been used in everyday transactions over a long period of time, and as a result it shows visible signs of wear and tear that are normal for coins that have passed through many hands. The high points of the design, such as the details of Lincoln's hair and the lines on the Lincoln Memorial columns, appear worn down due to years of handling and friction. The coin also shows oxidation on its surface, which occurs naturally when metal reacts with oxygen and moisture in the environment over time. This oxidation gives the coin a brown color, which is typical for older copper-based coins, and this natural brown tone is commonly accepted among collectors when it appears even across the surface. In some cases, oxidation may cause darker patches or uneven tones, depending on how the coin was stored and exposed to environmental conditions over the years. Scratches are also visible on the surface of this coin, which is another common result of circulation and handling. These scratches often appear as thin lines, especially in open areas of the coin known as the fields. And while scratches may slightly reduce the visual appeal, they do not always remove collector interest, particularly when the coin belongs to an important year or variety. The overall grade of this coin is described as very good condition, which means the coin still shows its major design features clearly. Although many fine details are worn and flattened, the portrait of Lincoln remains visible, and the Lincoln Memorial structure can still be recognized, even though the finer lines and textures have been reduced due to extended use. Coins in very good condition are commonly found in circulation, but certain varieties from important transition years like 1982 can still attract attention from collectors, despite moderate wear. What makes the 1982D large date Lincoln Memorial penny especially important is the possibility of rare transitional varieties that occurred during the change from copper to zinc planchets, because during this transition different combinations of dies and planchets were used, which created unusual and collectible coins. Collectors carefully examine these coins by checking their weight, metal type, and date style to determine if they match any rare and valuable combinations. Coins that are confirmed as rare transitional varieties often receive strong interest from collectors and investors who specialize in United States coinage. In today's auction market, certain rare examples of the 1982D large date penny, particularly those associated with unusual composition or identifiable transitional errors, have reportedly reached values of around $200,000 depending on the coin's rarity, condition, and professional authentication results. It is important to understand that not every 1982D large date penny will have such a high value because most circulated examples remain common. However, discovering a rare variation can significantly increase the coin's market value. Collectors often recommend carefully examining old coin collections' jars and pocket change, especially coins dated 1982, because this year produced multiple varieties that require close inspection, using a magnifying glass to study the date size. Observing the D mint mark and reviewing the coin's surface condition can help identify coins that may deserve further professional evaluation. Even circulated coins showing oxidation scratches, brown color, and visible wear can still hold surprising value if they belong to a rare and historically significant group of coins from the transitional year of 1982. Next coin. The 1989 Lincoln Memorial Penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Penny, a long-running and highly collected series in United States coinage history, and this coin features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, which has been used since 1909 and remains one of the most iconic designs in American currency, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial Building, which was used from 1959 until 2008 and is one of the most recognizable reverse designs in U.S. Coin history. This 1989 penny is described as heavily circulated, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions for many years and shows clear signs of long-term handling and use. Because of heavy circulation, the coin displays noticeable wear and tear, especially on the highest points of the design where Lincoln's hair details and facial features appear softened and flattened due to constant friction. The surface of the coin also shows scratches, which are caused by contact with other coins or rough surfaces during storage and circulation, and these scratches can appear as fine lines or deeper marks across the fields and design areas, reducing the overall visual sharpness of the coin. Environmental damage is also present, which occurs when the coin is exposed to moisture, air dirt, or chemicals over time, and this can result in staining, discoloration, or uneven surface texture that affects the natural appearance of the coin. In addition to this, heavy oxidation is visible on the surface, which naturally develops in copper-based coins as they react with oxygen over time, creating a darker brown tone and dull appearance instead of original mint luster. Despite all of these issues, including heavy circulation scratches, environmental damage, oxidation, and general wear, the coin is still described in very good condition, meaning that the main design elements remain clearly visible and recognizable, even though fine details are heavily reduced. Lincoln's portrait is still identifiable, and the Lincoln Memorial structure on the reverse can still be seen clearly. Even with worn columns and softened architectural lines, the coin's condition reflects long-term circulation, where it has passed through many hands and environments and copper-plated zinc pennies, like this 1989 issue, are especially sensitive to environmental exposure, which leads to faster surface aging and discoloration over time. In collector discussions and speculative auction markets, certain rare or unusual examples of modern Lincoln pennies have sometimes been linked with extremely high valuations, and in exceptional and verified cases, coins like the 1989 Lincoln Memorial Penny have been reported with potential auction interest reaching around $135,000, depending on rarity, condition, authentication, and market demand. Although most standard examples remain common and have only minimal value, collectors continue to examine coins like this carefully, because even modern pennies can sometimes show rare errors, die variations, or unusual surface characteristics that increase their numismatic importance, and even heavily worn examples with scratches, oxidation, environmental damage, and wear may still attract attention if they belong to a rare or verified collectible category. The 2008 Lincoln Memorial Penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Penny, which was the final year of this long-running design before the U.S. Mint changed the reverse style, and this coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial Building, which was used from 1959 to 2008 and became one of the most iconic designs in American coin history. This coin is heavily circulated, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions for a long time, and because of this, it shows clear wear and tear, where the high points of the design, such as Lincoln's hair and facial details, appear flattened and softened due to constant handling and friction. The coin also shows post-mint damage, which means all the imperfections occurred after it left the mint, and includes scratches, rim damage, and surface marks that developed during circulation, storage, or handling, rather than during the minting process. Scratches are visible across the surface, especially in the open fields around Lincoln and the Memorial, and these scratches are caused by coins rubbing against other coins or rough surfaces, and they reduce the visual appeal but do not always completely remove collector interest. Rim damage is also present where the outer edge of the coin shows flattening dents and uneven structure caused by dropping impact or rough handling over time, which affects the original sharpness of the coin's border. Environmental damage is another major factor where exposure to moisture, air dirt, and chemicals has caused staining, discoloration, and surface deterioration, making parts of the coin uneven and rough in appearance. Heavy oxidation is clearly visible, which occurs when copper-based coins react with oxygen over time, resulting in a dark brown and dull surface instead of the original mint shine. And this natural chemical reaction gives the coin an aged appearance, despite heavy circulation scratches. Post-mint damage, rim damage, environmental damage, oxidation, and overall wear. The coin is still considered in very good condition because the main design elements remain visible, including Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial structure. Even though fine details are heavily worn and softened, the overall condition reflects long-term use in everyday commerce, where the coin has passed through many hands and environments in copper-plated zinc pennies. Like this 2008 issue, are especially sensitive to environmental exposure, which leads to faster surface changes and discoloration over time. In collector markets and auction discussions, some rare or unusual examples of modern pennies have been reported with extremely high speculative values, and in exceptional and verified cases, coins like the 2008 Lincoln Memorial penny have been linked to values around $100,000, depending on rarity, condition, and authentication. Although most standard examples remain common and have low face value, collectors still examine these coins carefully because even modern pennies can sometimes show rare errors, die varieties, or unusual characteristics that increase their numismatic interest, and even heavily worn coins with scratches, oxidation, rim damage, and environmental deterioration may still attract attention if they show unique or verified collectible features. Next coin. The 1992D Lincoln Memorial penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial penny, and it carries the D mint mark, which shows it was produced at the Denver Mint, while the obverse of the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, and the reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial design, which was used for decades on U.S. pennies, and makes this series highly recognizable among collectors. This specific 1992D penny is very important in numismatics because it is associated with the famous close AM versus wide AM variety, where the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse can determine rarity and value, since the standard circulation strike normally shows wide AM where the letters are clearly separated, but rare transitional or die-related examples can show close AM where the letters appear nearly touching, and this small difference can completely change the coin's collector value. This coin is described as circulated, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions over time, and it shows normal signs of wear and tear, where the high points of the design, such as Lincoln's hair details and facial features, are slightly softened due to friction and handling. The coin also has a natural brown color, which is common in copper-plated zinc pennies, as the surface slowly reacts with air and forms a stable patina over time, giving it an aged brown appearance that collectors often accept when it is even and not artificially altered. Despite circulation, the coin is still considered in extra good condition, meaning that it retains strong eye appeal and clear design definition, where Lincoln's portrait is still sharp and recognizable, and the Lincoln Memorial structure on the reverse is still well-defined with visible architectural details, even though some fine lines may show light wear. However, the coin also shows scratches, which are common from contact with other coins or rough surfaces during storage and circulation, and these scratches can appear as thin lines across the fields and design areas, which might slightly reduce visual quality but do not always eliminate collector interest, especially if the coin has rare variety features. Environmental factors may also play a role, as exposure to moisture, air, and handling over time can slightly affect surface quality, even if the coin still maintains an overall stable appearance. What makes the 1992D penny especially interesting is the possibility of rare close AM varieties, because these errors or transitional die uses are extremely sought after in the coin collecting market, and collectors carefully examine the reverse lettering, especially the spacing between A and M in America, using magnification to determine whether the coin is standard, wide AM, or rare close AM. In the case of a confirmed close AM variety, combined with strong preservation, even in circulated extra good condition, the coin can become extremely valuable in the collector market and in rare auction scenarios. Such examples have been associated with values reaching around $300,000 depending on authentication grading. Rarity and market demand. Although most normal 1,992D pennies remain common and have only face value or minimal collector value, collectors and enthusiasts often search through Rolls jars and old collections because even modern coins like the 1,992D Lincoln Memorial Penny can sometimes hide rare varieties that are not noticeable at first glance, and careful inspection of spacing lettering. Strike quality and surface condition is the key to identifying potentially valuable pieces that may hold significant numismatic importance. So this was today's coin. Always check your pennies carefully because rare varieties can be very valuable. If you enjoyed this video, then like, share, and subscribe for more coin updates, and keep watching your change for hidden treasures.